This is BCR Creatives with Coco Event Group.
I am Chelsey. I'm the owner and maker of Earth Fragments.
Where are you based out of?
I'm in Denver, actually.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Are you born and raised here?
No, I'm actually from Alabama.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was in Alabama most of my life, and then I moved to Denver on a whim. So
Awesome.
yeah.
What sparked you to start creating jewelry?
Honestly, I was so stressed out with the job I had in Colorado, and there's a weird story behind it. So I was stressed out trying to make money. I was doing photography like part-time, but then I was working at a vet like most of my time, and I was just very tired all the time doing that. And when COVID hit, it kind of messed up my photography business. I was like, okay, what can I do to just like make money and like be creative? And I kid you not, some old jewelry stuff flew off of my closet, and I was like, oh, okay.
It was a sign.
It was a sign. I was like, okay. So I started making jewelry, and then it blew up, and then within 6 months, I was able to move from Alabama to Colorado.
How would you describe your style of jewelry?
So I feel like my jewelry is very like celestial, but also very ethereal, because I like when things feel organic, but also elegant at the same time. Like I like a lot of, it's weird. I like the mix between organization and chaos. So I love using like lines that are very like organized and symmetrical with super rough stones. I like working with rough stones, and I feel like mixing those two kind of creates that organized chaos.
Yeah, and because your style is so like alternative but bohemian at the same time.
Yeah.
It kind of encourages the buyer to like, I don't know, even if you dress more urban, you can still wear your jewelry and feel confident in
Exactly.
it. What does your process look like? Where do you pull inspiration from when creating a new collection?
So normally I just pull from how I'm feeling. Like for instance, my portal necklaces, they kind of came out of a lot of anxiety that was happening. I actually have them. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can use them to help with anxiety. So like when you're wearing it, I make them long so you can stack them too. You hold the top and you spin it.
Oh, cool.
It's almost like a spiritual fidget spinner. So it's like, you still, and I make sure the crystals that I'm using for it are intentional, and they kind of help with like anxiety and calm, things like that. And it's just a fun thing to spin, and it never breaks because it's just made to fidget. So.
Wow, that's really cool.
Thanks.
I didn't know you had like necklaces like that. What's the biggest challenge you've had to encounter when it comes to running your own business?
Honestly, now just trying to stay afloat in a city like Denver, because it's so expensive living here. Just staying afloat here, because when I was in Alabama, it was easier and I had a lot more in savings, but I was in Alabama.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, like I also want to be somewhere where there's stuff happening. So I don't know. That's the hardest thing I would say, is just staying afloat. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel you there.
but it's fun. It's worth it.
What is a piece of advice you would give to people out there who are scared to get the ball rolling on their own small business?
To just stop overthinking it, because I'm the biggest overthinker, and to just like do. I saw a really good quote the other day, and it said, your worst podcast is going to be bad, your worst piece of art is going to be bad, your worst piece of music is going to be bad, but you can't have your 100th piece without doing your first piece. So just start,
Amen.
Yeah.
What are your aspirations for Earth Fragments? What doors do you see yourself opening in 2025?
So I'm hoping, I am doing a lot more things, I guess, like where I'm trying to form things in the community, and I'm hoping that I can, see myself in more, I guess, like higher end shops and things like nationwide, but I also want everything that I'm in to be kind of intentional. So I want to see my stuff in more like community owned spaces, and I want to be at more like community led events and spiritual events and things that, people, can grow from. Like that's kind of where I see the jewelry kind of being, growing to.
Sweet. Yeah, like a cohesive, uplifting community.
exactly.
Yeah, it took me a really long time. I've been like a photographer for like over a decade now, and it's been hard to find a good community where you feel accepted and not brought down.
Yeah.
How would you describe the Denver, Colorado creative scene?
So, honestly, when I first moved here, like the people are nice, but it's very cliquey. You know what I mean? So it feels like you really have to search, like you said before, you really have to search to find like the group that kind of fits you. And I think maybe if things weren't so, I don't know, cliquey would be easier, but also I kind of get it because people move to Denver for different reasons, so you have different things you're trying to do, but I'd say for the most part it is kind of cliquey, but once you kind of like weed through and find it, you can find your people, it just takes time.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with you. To branch off of that, where do you think we could improve as a collective? Like, not just any type of person.
I feel like having more people of color led spaces in Denver, because I'm actually, well, this is like a little secret, but I'm actually like trying to form an event company to like help with, you know, creating space for, it's me and a few other women, but we're trying to create space for everyone, you know, any gender, any race, any, I don't know. We want to create elevated, beautiful spaces that most people who wouldn't be able to normally get access to have access to. Because I've seen, like, the most beautiful, amazing spaces that I've seen have been mostly led people who are not of color, and like we're trying to change that. So we're trying to like just create, you know, a more diverse community of people.
Definitely. Last question.
Okay.
What are your core values, and how does that apply to not only your craft but your day-to-day life?
So I was talking to a good friend about this, and she has a word for it, but it's like, what are your roots? Like, where's your anchor? She says, what's your anchor? Mm-hmm. And if you move through life with your anchor, like, how is that keeping that space where you need it to be? And for me, my anchor is always being at places that are going to be like intentional and help, and things that feel good to my soul. Because I've done events before and I've said yes to events before, but they didn't really feel like me. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm really, like, before I say yes to anything, or before I like go out and do this event or go out and do that, I need to make sure that it aligns with my anchor. And so once I can feel like, okay, this does align with my anchor, that's when I know that I feel good doing it. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being willing to be interviewed.
Thank you.
Featured in our event calendar.
I am Earth Fragments on Instagram, and then my website is shopearthfragments.com, and I also do professional photography. That was like my main gig. So my other photography handle is Chelsey Ray Photo, and that's Chelsey with a Y.
I'll have to follow that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.